You are listening to the FTWpodcast.com, where we talk about wrestling in all of its laughable glory. Here's a clip from this week's episode.
Kurt Angle recently did an interview with the WrestleCast show in UK. On it, he basically he told a story about the time he almost ended Taker's streak at WrestleMania 22. Just the story is in 2006, Taker was saying that he never really had a real 5-star match, and at the time, Kurt Angle was champion. He figured, okay, well, Angle would be great to basically end my match, give us a good 5-star match at WrestleMania, and that could be the end of it. They wanted to push the match back from No Way Out, but just because of one thing leads to another, it just never really happened, and the streak continued. What do you think about the idea of Kurt Angle ending the streak? Do you think it would have been a good move? Kevin?
No, I don't think it would have been a good move. I understand the thought, and Kurt talks about how humbling this was, and he's flattered, and he really should have been, and that's a great response from a professional. No, I think the streak should end undefeated. It's the Undertaker's legacy, so I don't think it's a good idea. Now, the fact of the matter is, I don't understand this conversation to begin with. He says that he hadn't had a 5-star match. Shawn Michaels' Undertaker Hell in a Cell 1 was unbelievable. In my opinion, it's top 5 matches I've ever seen. So that to me is complete bullshit.
5-star match.
I don't understand where this article even comes from.
Kevin, at WrestleMania.
Oh.
Not Hell in a Cell. No, you're right. He had 5-star matches, but he never had a 5-star match at WrestleManias. And this was, keep in mind, this was Taker's idea. No, that's cool. I mean, it's kind of confusing, but basically this was Taker's idea. No one came up with this except for Taker. So you got to think Undertaker thought Kurt Angle was good enough. You know?
I still think the way that they've done it, nobody should break the streak. It should be undefeated. It's his legacy. So no. However, I am very surprised that he approached him about it. Undertaker approached, Vince and said, "Hey, he could end it. I'm okay with it." But I don't know. I'm glad it didn't happen because he should end the streak undefeated. That's how it should be, and that's what we should remember the Undertaker the most for.
Okay. Anybody else?
I can see those arguments, and I agree with them a little bit. But if WWE decided to end the streak, I can't really think of a better person than Kurt Angle to have win it. Kurt Angle has the ability, and he's got the he's got like the build up. He's got the persona as somebody who could legitimately end Taker's streak without it hurting Taker too much. So if they were going to end the streak, I would have preferred Kurt Angle be the one to end it. I can't think of somebody else that I would rather have end the streak, but I'm just as glad that the streak's maintained intact.
I just think that the streak at this point has morphed into such a phenomenon, for lack of a better word, that even if anyone, and I'm not saying Kurt Angle couldn't do it. I love Kurt Angle just as much as any guy in terms of his in-ring ability and everything, but any wrestler to theoretically beat the streak of The Undertaker, that is a huge, huge weight on your shoulders. Because essentially you're saying, okay, you're going to beat one of the top guys in WWE, a legend, someone who's been here from the beginning, who's, up until this point, saying what, WrestleMania 22. So he was like about 12-0. I could be off, but 12-0, even at this point where he's 19-0, you're taking a guy who's had an unbelievable undefeated streak. No one has been able to beat him at the biggest WrestleMania of all time, and you're the guy who's going to have to take that and run with it. That's a huge, huge burden to carry. I mean, it could push you to the likes of superstardom, but I don't know about you, but if that was me, I would be sweating bullets.
Exactly,
to have
Conor.
to take that.
This is why I don't think the streak should end. Not because I think it's the biggest thing in wrestling right now, not because I think it should define Undertaker. It's the Raw afterwards. The next day, whoever broke the streak, congratulations. The rest of your career is going to be defined by this. But you have to go out there with a microphone, and you have to now sell it. I cannot think of a single person in the history of wrestling except for Shawn Michaels that could do it, and he's retired.
Really?
I got one for you.
Who?
Superman John Cena.
Nope. If they're going
to have anybody do it, it's going to be Cena. But after this year, Taker's going to end up retiring at 20-0, and that's going to be it.
If Cena breaks the streak,
it won't happen. There'd be riots.
Exactly, huge riot, and Cena would instantly have to be heel. The streak is bigger than any one talent right now. I mean, like Conor said, 19-0. I mean, this is never going to happen. All right, this is like when Goldberg had his streak. That was shit compared to this. This is the biggest stage in pro wrestling, the biggest thing on the biggest stage. What do you do the next day?
What do you do the next day? Well, here's why I will make my case. First of all, I'm going to echo what you said, Harrison. Undertaker thought that Kurt Angle could handle it. And Angle, it's been a thing with him throughout his entire career. He thrives on that kind of stuff. He is at his best when you take a heavy, almost inhuman burden, put it on his shoulders and say, here, make something out of this. He won the gold medal with a broken neck in the Olympics. He's carried TNA on his company on his shoulders when he needed to. He's carried WWE when they needed him to. He's proven that the more pressure you put on him, the better he is. I think Kurt Angle could handle breaking the streak.
It's not about breaking a streak. It's what happens next.
Yeah, I got to agree with Harrison. It's not so much the streak itself, but the burden
after.
of that. Yeah, that your entire career is going to be defined. No matter what you do, who you beat, what titles you win, you are going to be known as the guy who beat Taker. Nothing more, at least right off the top of everyone's head.
Yeah, I mean, you will go down in history as that. And that is one moment that will define the rest of your career. And it's just, I think it's too much of a burden for one person to take. I thought Shawn Michaels could do it the first time, maybe the second time, but not now. No way.
Well, you've heard our thoughts, but now we want to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, and even join us live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. at theftwpodcast.com.